Hello, everyone. This is Frank, reference librarian at the McKenna Public Library, and welcome to Artificial Life. Today, we're going to be giving this episode a more philosophical bent. We're going to be talking about some ethical issues with technology. But before we start, I wanted to introduce you to a very special author that sometimes covers these topics on technology, politics, society, and philosophy. He is a German Korean author named Byung Chul Han, and let me go ahead and share my screen with you. There is this very interesting book called Psychopolitics by Byung Chul Han, and it talks about, again, as I said, about how technology has changed the way that we relate to each other and how we get dominated by those that are in power through technology, and how things change from a society of discipline to a society of achievement. I highly recommend this book and this article. If you want to check it out, it's from Media Theory, and it's called Review Natasha Lucetic on Psychopolitics, Neoliberalism, and the New Technologies of Power by Mayun Chul Han. So feel free to look this up, check it out, and read it and you know see what you think of it. It's kind of a lengthy article. It goes over all the works of Byung Chul Han. He has several books like The Burnout Society, which is the most famous one, and the most famous one, and it's a really good book to get introduced to his ideas. I would personally suggest that you start with the Burnout Society and then you go to Psychopolitics, because the Burnout Society gives you a really good overview of his main ideas. Um, Without much further ado, let me start with the article we're going to cover today that talks about these ideas from this other philosopher named Toby Ord. And let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, this article is titled "Why It's Time for a New Ethical Perspective on Humanity," according to a philosopher. And again, this philosopher's name is Toby Ord from Oxford, from the University of Oxford. And something very important that he covers here is, since we live in a globalized society, this demands a new ethical perspective. For example, with the COVID-19, um, this has demonstrated how our technologies have increased the precariousness of the situation, and this had a domino effect in motion, and now every corner of the earth is affected. And history is full of examples of disease spreading because of travel, exploration, and expansion. For example, the Black Death during the Middle Ages, smallpox during the colonization of the Americas, and the flu in 1918 due to technological advancements in transportation. And these technological advancements have produced countless benefits, of course, like increased transportation, communication, and because better the economy for all of us. However, there are also several risks, as mentioned above. So it's not only disease, but also misinformation and hateful ideologies spreading faster than any disease thanks to the technology of the internet. And as I said, these challenges require a new perspective, a new approach to ethics. Typically, in ethics, we tend to see things in a very individualistic perspective, as in what should I do? How should I behave? What do I need to do in this situation? It's all about the I. It's not too much about the we. And the questions that we should be asking in ethics now, because of globalization, are what should we do? And we should be taking a broader perspective of the problems brought by these new technologies affect all of us, the entire planet, the entire ecosystem of the planet. Um, so, for example, with the advent of nuclear weapons, we develop the potential to destroy everything that is alive and affecting the lives of those that would come after us in countless generations. Um, and he also talks in this article about existential risks. So, what are existential risks? Existential risks are threats to our existence and our future, whether through extinction, as in a as a disease spreading and wiping us all out, or through the collapse of civilization. And some examples are global warming and bioengineered pandemics, um, a nuclear holocaust, etc. So this transformation of our thinking not only needs to go beyond the present, it needs to go beyond the present. So we shouldn't just focus on the present, because that's only a very small spark of time. We need to focus on all the eons that follow us and that precede us, because we need to think about, all the traditions and the philosophies that preceded us, but also to think about the future generations and what kind of world we're going to be leaving to them. And the article goes more in depth about it. The article's title is "Why It's Time for a New Ethical Perspective on Humanity According to a Philosopher," and this is from weforum.org. So I highly recommend that you check this out. It's right here if you want to type this out, write it down, and then check it out later. So we actually have a book written by Toby Ord here in the library, and let me go ahead and show you that right now. It's kind of a lengthy book. It's a new book. It was released in 2020. It's called The Precipice. Let me just go ahead and find it, and I'll share it with you. Okay, here it is. Let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. And I hope everyone can see it right here. It's called The Precipice, Existential Risk and the Future of Humanity by Toby Ord. And here it has a summary about it. I recommend that you check it out. It's pretty interesting. As you see, it's 168 pages. And we have it here in our main library. And it's in the 303.4909 Ord. So if you want to find this book, just give us a call. We can put it on hold for you. We can find it here for you in the library, etc. So just let us know and make sure to come by and check this out because it's very fascinating. So with that being said, thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Tech News Artificial Life. And there's going to be a second part later on during the month. So please make sure to stay tuned to that because it's going to be very, very interesting. Thank you very much. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful day and month and holidays.